Hello and welcome back to our podcast. You're listening to Asia, Niv and Manasi on Reasoning with Prejudice, where we will debate, discuss and overthink topics that are sometimes meaningful, sometimes lighthearted, but always interesting. And you don't even have to give us a penny for our thoughts.
For our second topic, we're going to be discussing soulmates. Do they actually exist? And are we ever going to meet them? I think it'd be it's a nice thought that soulmates exist. You know what I mean? Like someone, like a perfect puzzle piece that you fit in with.
Mm-hmm. I think it's not a nice thought to have, because if you do believe in soulmates, then you're believing that there is only one person that you're like completely compatible with, and I think that's really scary, because what if you never meet? It'll be bad relationships for the whole of your life.
I guess I'm somewhat in the middle. I don't know if it's yes or if it's no. If there's more than one.
I was just saying, Aisha, you said like it'd be scary, but what if it's like 99% compatible? That's still pretty good, right? Or like 80%.
Yeah, I guess. But I think if you believe in soulmates, at some point you're gonna figure out that there's this 1% that is not compatible with the person that you're with, and you might ruin something good because you want to find that perfect person and you don't think it's worth the time to work on that 1% with another person.
Interestingly, it can also work the other way, if you ask me. If you think someone is your soulmate, you think, this is my soulmate, I'm not going to do any better. What if they're abusing you and you just think, this is my soulmate?
How do you know if that's your soulmate, though?
Exactly, we will never know.
And there were a couple of BuzzFeed quizzes and other quizzes to see 9 reasons how you know that you found your soulmate.
What kind of questions did they ask?
Questions like, you should never doubt them. And one interesting thing was, you communicate without even speaking.
It was telepathy.
And the other one was saying how they're always by your side and you always fight, but you always know that there's a deeper connection between you. Is this idealistic? When I fight, I struggle to see the other person's perspective. I'm not going to be thinking there's a deeper connection between us.
No, but you'll know the next day, right? When you forgive them.
There's 2 types of beliefs about soulmates. So one is you're kind of believing that you're destined to be with the one, like what Manasi said. And then the next belief is that you grow into being someone's soulmate. So even if you were completely different people, as you progress in that relationship, they become your soulmate.
I think the second one is so scary, though. Like, you spending all this time with this person and just hoping that they'll become your soulmate. And in the end, if they just don't, it's like all those years just wasted down the drain.
That's with any relationship, though.
No, but when it's like, when you think it's gonna be a soulmate, you have like higher expectations.
The point about the belief is that you grow into the soulmate. You don't really think at the beginning of the relationship, oh, this person is my soulmate.
Okay, so if you have one soulmate, and that's for your personality, right? But if your personality constantly changes over time, would like perfect soulmate change over time as well? Like you have a different soulmate for each
Probably.
year.
Maybe. Or also, what if the soul change with you?
Oh, that's a nice idea, actually.
Wouldn't that be a bit suffocating as well, though? With the idea of soulmates, I feel like they'll just always be there with you, which is nice in theory. It's needing someone to complete, like, you know the phrase, your other half. Needing some other person to complete you. That just feels a bit, I don't know, overwhelming.
I actually looked up the people describe soulmates as, and it's not what the person who completes you, it's the person who allows you to complete yourself.
Oh, damn. That's a good way to put it. Like Manasi said, completing yourself. It's interesting she mentioned that. A couple of years ago, I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about the theory of Plato. So that's when other half, better half, completing yourself came about. I mean, it could have been originated from cultures like Hinduism or Christianity, but Plato put it in words in his story called Symposium. So he said that when humans were like first born, they had four hands each and 4 legs each, and they had one head with two faces. They thought that they could defeat the gods. So Zeus got angry and he split them. They were like suffering a lot, and then Apollo attached them in a very emotional way, and all throughout their life, these two halves are on a journey to find each other.
Wow.
That's
And to
actually
become whole.
sweet. But if you think about it, like you're trying to find yourself.
Yeah, it's a bit
Weird.
creepy, but also it's sweet in the sense that you are actually made for each other, made to find each other.
It would be so frustrating if you don't actually find that person, though.
And what if the person dies? You're just like searching
Yeah.
for nothing then.
What if the person is like, I know we had this discussion once. What if the person's like 80 years old when you're 17 or something?
Yeah, but according to Plato's theory, they're made when you're made, so they should be like
The exact same age.
Sounds
like
very-
the exact same birthday.
So maybe most people give up before they find their other half, as Plato says, and they settle and marry with the people they don't really care about.
Well, I'm sure they care about them, just not as much as they would their soulmate, which is scary because you don't actually know if you could care about someone, if you could love someone more than whoever you're with at that moment.
Do we all believe in soulmates?
I don't, just because I think, like, I've seen people being in love with different people and different periods of their life, and I think that is what makes you happy at that.
Perfect match for you, or one potential perfect match. But I don't ever believe that any of us actually meet this person. This person could have lived in any time period, in any dimension, any dead. They could be living in the 16th century, and the odds of you actually meeting the perfect person for you is pretty low.
I believe things when I see them. That's the same how I felt about God. Like I'll only believe it if I see something that shows that he or she actually exists. That's the same with soulmates. Like the idea of it sounds pretty nice. It sounds very ideal. But unless I actually see it happening or it happens with me, I don't think I'm ever gonna fully believe it.
This is a very gossipy topic. Manasi, don't you think your parents are soulmates?
I don't know how to answer that. I
Well,
hope
you
they
said you
are.
only believe something you would see, so you see your parents every day.
To be fair, I think they are. Like
So
it
you should
sounds.
believe in soulmates then.
I know, but this is. I'm watching it from third person perspective.
Alright.
The only people I know who are that perfect. I don't know anyone else. Like whenever has flaws.
Baby. In mine, Monica and Chandler are perfect. Fight me on this, Manasi.
I think Monica overshadows Chandler a lot, you know?
No, I don't think so. I think Chandler's like so funny and like upbeat. He like throws jokes like.
Monica is high maintenance, and Chandler loves to maintain her.
That makes sense.
This is a different question, but kind of related. What do we think about people when they say that they found their soulmate?
Cringe.
Just cringe, and it's also like I question it because I'm just
And if they feel the need to say it, they're seeking for validation or some sort of, validation from an external source, whether it's social media or a friend that they're talking to. I don't know. It just seems.
Is it validation though? In
It
weddings,
is,
in
yeah.
weddings, in their vows, they say, "You're my best friend. You're my soulmate." Is
that one?
Enjoy everything. They feel everything all at once, and then as time goes on, it burns out. The passion burns out. The love.
Social media, how couples post and you're like, forever, always together. I couldn't imagine life without you.
Yeah,
That's
just
all.
actually when I see people in year 10, in year 11, like when we were thinking, do you really think that you found your soulmate at 14?
It does happen. Like we shouldn't disparage people who say that because at the time that's probably what they think. Like they don't know anything else, so it's not like
I know.
So yeah, they probably do think
but
that.
the chances of you marrying or ending up with your first love is really slim. It happens, but I've never seen it happen. Have you?
I think
my pet one, not like 14, a bit older, but it happened with my parents.
Yeah, happened with my parents as well, to be fair.
It did not happen with my parents. But I don't know, it just feels like You know the people who call themselves soulmates and then fall in love, and at the beginning of the relationship, it's all very intense and it's very easy to love the person because that's the honeymoon period. And
So are you categorizing people who call their other half their soulmate as people whose love will burn out?
no, obviously not. But like, if I'm 14 and I'm in love with someone and we're in a relationship, and then I keep thinking, oh my god, he's my soulmate. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Every day I keep thinking that, it's gonna fade out. It's all very intense. At the beginning of every relationship, you think you're the luckiest person there. You think you're so happy with them. You think you're meant to be with them because that's the beginning of the every relationship. You're not yet revealed to the dark side, all the flaws. You don't have time to know all that. So everything seems perfect.
Not necessarily though. Like even though people say we're soulmates, I think they're still aware of the reality. I think it's more like despite your dark side, despite your reality, I still think we're soulmates. I mean, if someone was that idealistic or I don't know, that optimistic, it just seems very foolish to me. If people do think that way, then I'm a bit worried.
I think people do. Maybe you don't. I never would because I'd always be skeptical, saying
Yeah.
I'm being clouded by this overrush of emotions. I need to slow down. Like I need to. It's like a balance. So when you find someone's flaws or when you fight with them and you disagree something, you think back, even unconsciously, you think back. Does all the good times I've had with this person, is it worth going through this rough patch? If the answer is yes, then you stay together. If the answer is no, then you break up.
I think no one's in the middle of a fight, no one's gonna say yes, but like after a day or two,
Yeah.
when
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Amy says, "Oh yeah, if you don't want kids, we're done. I need time to find some other person."
At the moment, actually, I think it was she was thinking logically. I think if she would have thought about it more, she would have been clouded by her like I know her love for Jake, and she would have thought, okay, I love him. Maybe let's just make it work. But in the heat of the moment, she was thinking like the most clearly. I think.
Yeah,
that
maybe, but I just think
I think that was fair of her though, because she was kind of putting it up front instead of leading him on. Do you know what I mean? Like she's telling
Yeah,
him
it's
this is what I want, and if you're not okay with it, you need to tell me right now. Or like,
yeah, it'd be unfair on either of
yeah,
them if they're stuck in a relationship and one of them is going to be unhappy because having children is like it's like such a big decision. It's
yeah,
such a big thing. Like you thought about that for quite a while, and if one person in a two-person relationship is unhappy about that decision,
it's a deal
it's
no,
breaker.
no,
Like,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I get that. I get that she came to the conclusion because I probably would have too if there's a deal breaker like that. But my question is, how did she come up with that solution so quickly? Like
it's
this took some time to think about it because my opinions and my desires are important, but the relationship I've had with that person is also important. I can't just sacrifice one for the other instantly.
No, but it's not her like sacrificing their relationship. It's her thinking, well, if we don't want the same things, then our relationship is going to be doomed from the offset because one of us is going to like have, I don't know, like the other person like subconsciously, and it just puts their marriage in like a bad setting
yeah, I agree,
for
but
you
like,
to take away that.
yeah, I think I agree with Niv as well because it's like if you hear your partner saying that, you know, we're done, like this is a deal breaker, and they're putting some other hypothetical life above what they have with you right now, I'd be pretty hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be very damaging to hear someone say that. I don't know how Jake got over it.
Yeah, if I don't want kids and my partner wants kids, convince me, talk to me, don't just throw me away. I might want kids and I just haven't realized that yet. Give me the benefit of the doubt. And if we've talked about it and then it's still not working out, then you're free to go away.
Yeah. I think divorce should be kind of not the last option, but it shouldn't be your first option in any fight.
Yeah,
Also, like individual preference, who gets hurt by saying what. Jake seemed pretty okay with it at the end, and I guess that's why they work, because they fit in well with each other. They know exactly what the other person means.
Or in the future, what if Jake realized he didn't really want to have kids, and he just said that because he was so afraid of losing Amy?
That could.
Right. What are our deal breakers? Deal breaker would be them not having the same intellect or as me, because I just hate it when I have to get someone up to speed with me.
I know, Niv, I know that.
You've said that so many times, like it's ingrained in my brain.
I have.
Easier when you're having a conversation with someone and they kind of automatically know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, friends surround myself with, or majority of the people, they can like they have the same wavelength as me.
It's a horrible deal breaker for me. I like not the fact that they did it, but the fact like why they did it. It just means that they don't, I don't know, they don't love me as
I
much
mean,
as.
obviously cheating is horrible. I don't think anyone should do that. But I always believe that love is forgiveness and second chances. And I
Not like the fact that they hurt me. Like if they missed a date or something, that's fine. Like it hurt me, but it's fine. But like if they cheated, it's like it's not the fact that they hurt me, it's the fact that they wanted to be with someone else. So it's like I will always be thinking that I'm not good enough for them. It's like the doubt that it plants.
yeah,
I agree.
it will be hard.
It would be if they're not like proud to be with me publicly. Like you know how this friend, and she said that she wanted to take things forward with this guy, but she said that the thing was holding her back was that he seemed to, I don't know, he seemed to shy away from her weird bits with her honest bits when she acted impulsively or took risks. He always kind of, I don't know, made her feel bad about them even though they weren't big risks. It's like someone holding you back from living life to the fullest, someone being too prim and too perfect. That would put me off. And it's
Yeah,
like if I want my partner to talk about me proudly in public and not, I don't know, hide away bits that he thinks that won't, I don't know, won't be approved by society.
yeah, I get it. I think I have one for you, Asia. You would not like if the person is racist or homophobic or basically going against one of the firm ideals that you hold.
Yeah, I just basically, yeah.
But isn't it one of the aspects of being a soulmate is that you complete each other, you fix each other's flaws?
Well, no, because like for me, I just wouldn't be attracted to someone like that. I wouldn't, if someone's morals were like that skewed, like sure I would I don't know, maybe try and educate them, but like
You
I
shouldn't
think you'd
need.
be I think you'd be so mad you would just walk out. But it's not always
Yeah.
when you meet someone you ask, are you a racist? Are you homophobic? Or do you respect women?
Oh, yeah, an example, right? So on Love Island, there's this really like feminist girl, and she was getting to know this guy, who seemed really nice. Like he was really funny and he was like kind. But then they were talking about feminism, and he said something like, "Why do we need feminism? Like women
Oh
are
my
so
God.
equal. They have more rights than us even." And she was like, she was so shocked. She didn't know what to say, and she just, yeah, it just put her off him, and
Yeah.
I just would never find that ignorance attractive. Like I would correct him and then leave.
That's funny. But if you correct him, isn't he your perfect soulmate? If you homophobic who are racist or who don't believe in feminists, they're not inherently evil. They were just brought up in a way where somehow they think these ideals are right, which is wrong. They shouldn't do that. But it's all of our duty to educate them, not hate on them. That you should
Also,
hate their ideals, not them.
it's just a difference of opinion.
Obviously, I know that it's wrong for me to hate them.
No, it's not wrong.
But I'm just saying, like, I would never find that attractive. Like, it would just put me off.
Yeah,
all
but
the
this doesn't happen at the point of attraction. This happens when you're in too deep and then you recognize, what the hell?
These kind of things, they like pop up all the time. Like, in everyday life, you hear about it all the time, and I know it's easy to see. Like, it's just little comments that can kind of cue you in to their beliefs.
Okay, this is hypothetical, right? What if you had no idea until you're in too deep? A perfect person who's like always agreeing with your ideals, but I'm saying this might not always be the case. People fight.
Okay, that's if it's one thing, like one. It's hard because it depends if they're worth it or not.
Exactly, I think that's what it all comes up to, the balance. Are all the good times worth this? The person who's meant for you, who's made for you. This one is a very what can I say, cliche. It's curtained by cliche, but this just means, do you imagine yourself happily being married with one person? Because that's what this means, right?
No. I don't. I like my kind of my look. This is going off my history of friendship, so it's different. But I've had like different friends for my entire life, so I don't know if that's down to like circumstance or if it's just me and I lose people. I don't know, like something like that. So I don't think I would be in a relationship that is very, very long term. Like, even if I get married, I feel like I'm destined to get divorced just because of my history of relationships in the past.
With friends.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same. Like people.
So you're kind of thinking that there's an expiry date for your friendship and relationships. You don't want to say that because it's too mean, but that's what you think, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, what about you, Manasi?
So the question was whether you believe that there's a perfect person for you.
A perfect person, a person made for you, like a person. Okay, do you believe that you'd end up happily being married to one person?
Yeah, because I mean, I think either I'll end up being happily married or not married at all because I'm incredibly picky, incredibly indecisive, and I'll only go through ways, or else it's like down in the drain. But if I think that a soulmate actually exists, then I think the answer is no, because our world is not perfect. So such a perfect, ideal situation existing in this world, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I actually believe that people are made for each other, but not in the sense that you would think. I think I was made for my parents. I was made for my sister. I was made for my friends. I was made for all of you. So obviously someone is going to be made for me. Like, you guys were made for me. My sister was made for me. So why not a romantic partner who's made for me?
That makes thought, isn't it, to think of.
So, Niv, you think that you'll end up with, well, if you do meet someone, then you'll end up with them for like a long time?
Yeah, because I don't
Happily.
think I would, like Manasi said, I don't think I would ever go into a relationship if I had the slightest doubt that it's gonna fail. I don't do short-term relationship. I don't do that. I'm not that person. Like,
I think I'd like to have a few failures though, because it'll kind of validate the relationship you're in, knowing that you've had bad experiences.
Yeah, I thought it as well.
maybe
Just because
maybe like is gonna end up with the first person that they love. That's just not gonna happen.
It's happened.
I mean, maybe there are exceptions. I've never seen it happen, and I don't believe in it. But it could happen. There are exceptions, but I don't think that exception would be me. But I
I think that makes sense. Like, I think no one's gonna go into something thinking that it's not gonna last, but whether it does last in the end is a different thing.
Yeah,
Because you
definitely.
never know.
Yeah.
No, I think I might go into things that I know wouldn't last, just if I'm like,
For
I
fun.
don't know,
Curious.
yeah, for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and curiosity.
See, I would like that. I would like to be that person actually, because it seems like you have a couple of like crap pancakes, so you can make the perfect one on your third or fourth try. But I go all in or all out. Oh God, I'm being this kind of storyteller in this episode, but in Hinduism,
Yeah.
there's kind of a belief about soulmates, but not really. Like in Shiva and
Seven.
Parvati, they
Yeah.
share they're part of the same human being. They share a body because they believe that they want to share the same experiences, and they're actually like each other's other half.
Wait, they share.
It's really cool.
Mhm.
Like,
And then there's also so they are considered to be soulmates for each other because they understand each other so perfectly that they have blended into one body. I mean, it sounds
The
creepy,
thing,
but
like, you know how, I don't know about you, but I've always seen couples, like, they just begin to look like each other after a time. And I read it up. Apparently, they kind of reciprocate emotions and expressions on their faces. And that's why their faces are like wrinkled to the same shape.
oh my God.
It's so weird, but I just like love that idea that you just become the other person, kind of.
We've actually seen that though. Like our mannerisms are kind of similar because we spend so much time together. Like you kind of rub off
Yeah.
on another person if you're with them for a long time.
Like, imagine if we spent like the entire life with someone, we'll just look like them, just
Yeah.
doppelgangers.
yeah, I don't think my parents look like each other. That's just weird.
They do though. Like, I don't know.
I mean, they're both tall, but they were tall when they met each other.
I think your parents are really different. I mean, I don't know them, but they're
Very
really
different. And
I think I like that. Like, I wouldn't want to be with someone who's really similar to me because I'd want to be surprised. Like, I want to be, I don't know, like, it's interesting if they're not like, if they're completely different.
yeah. Yeah, so why I said about Shiva and Parvati is that, so it says soulmates exist, but then it also shows an imperfect side. So unlike most traditional religions, they don't necessarily, you know how Christianity goes against divorce. They say man leaves the parents to unite with the wife and be one flesh or something.
Yeah.
You know Krishna and Radha.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be soulmates. They love each other, and there's like so many poets who glorify their love for each other.
He
But
married
then,
another woman, right?
yeah, Krishna marries 1,000 more, and Radha
Yeah.
marries another person as well. But then they say that in the end, even after Krishna marries 1,000 women, and Radha goes and marries someone else, they always share a special bond, and they'll always be each other's soulmate. That was kind of interesting because it basically says that you might be with a soulmate, but it doesn't guarantee a relationship. You might break up with them, but you don't stop being soulmates. And there's another sad story in the same, like Krishna's life. You know, he married 1,000 women. I'm not judging. It's his choice, I guess. I mean, not really, but
Consent. Yeah.
So there's Meera. Do you know Manasi? Yeah, so Meera was basically in love with Krishna, and she waited so long since she was a young girl until she died. She kept praying that Krishna would come to her and waited for him because she knew that he was her soulmate, and she kept waiting, and he never came till the end. They never like he
was a bit of a player, to be fair. I mean, he reminds me,
just like our previous topic, how you're brought up, your religion, your culture, your kind of influences your belief in relationships or soulmates.
I agree. Whether it's like defying what your family has taught you or going along with it, that's also like, it goes both ways.
Yeah. So in conservative Christian households, I'm not saying all Christians. I'm just saying in conservatives, some Christian households, many people stay together in toxic relationships and marriages because they believe that they're married, they're wed in the eyes of God, and their family would disown them if they go like their separate ways and get divorced.
Yeah.
You keep imagining a perfect person, but that's not going to exist.
I don't imagine a perfect person. Like, I think when I think of a perfect person, I think like, I just know that it's too good to be true. So, I don't know.
Imagine like a real person, but who's also the shy of perfect. So
Yeah, actually, to be fair.
I
they
just-
have their flaws
yeah.
and stuff, but at the end of the day, they're as good as anything could be.
I don't think, yeah, it's a difficult thing because we always think, oh yeah, I want this person, I want that person. But we never stop to think, would that person want me?
I think the minute the other person doesn't want me, I'm just gonna be like, bye.
Yeah, because it just shows that they don't actually like you enough for it to work.
Yeah, it's a sense of self-worth, I guess. I have a bit of an ego. I try to push it down, but it's there, like on the surface. So if someone doesn't like me, I'm not gonna beg for them to stay. It's like, fine, bye.
Yeah, but that's
We're discussing this topic without having any actual prior experience.
well, that's with anything. That's with any topic. So we talk about racism and support. Yeah,
and
we haven't been through it. Doesn't
it's
mean
so
we should stay
cool though,
silent.
because we're like,
Yeah.
you know how you notice babies. People study babies and how they behave in environments that they don't know anything about. Right now, we're like a bunch of babies talking about something we don't know anything about. I think there's like sort of, I don't know, innocence in that. Like,
Yeah. It's scary to think a decade from now, most of us, we could be married.
I don't think so. I mean, for me.
I think Niv will be married.
Yeah,
Why?
Niv's gonna be the first.
What did I do? Why would you want like?
It's always I can just see you, okay? I can
Why
just
would
see you
I be
getting.
the first one?
Yeah, because you're so like because of that reaction.
Yeah.
Why me? Why would it be me? That reaction.
You
People
said
who
me.
say
If
that.
I told you, you would ask the same thing.
No, actually, I would think, maybe, sure.
Okay,
No, you wouldn't.
Because exactly that, like you have, I don't know, I find like that you're a person who would judge other people for getting into things too quickly or like without knowing too much, but then I feel like you would do it yourself and then you get married really quickly. I think
Yeah. It's the people who say that I'm not gonna get married really quickly who do end up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Future Niv, play this at Asia's wedding and prove that she got married before me.
Oh my god.
Prove that she is wrong. It's gonna think that it's just you and the other person. But in my case, I think my whole family is involved. My friends are involved.
God, yeah.
And to be fair, my biggest deal breaker is that my friends or family not getting along with that person.
I agree with that. Like I was talking to my parents the other day about marriage and stuff, and how I was like, is it between two families though? Why is it just between two, individuals? And they just asked me to reflect on our entire, I don't know, family dynamic, like my aunt and how she treats me like her own daughter and all those things. And I just realized that it is between two families. You can't just ignore the people involved.
Yeah, your ideals as well, because if you think about it, you might think I want to be a lone wolf, but your parents, they're gonna start worrying. They'd be like, why is my daughter all by herself? Why can't you find a person?
I've told them already. Like I've warned them in advance for a long time. Like I'm only gonna get married if I find someone, because I'm not gonna get married because of the sake of getting married. Like I'm just telling you right now, so you're not surprised in the future. But they think it's just a phase, which is another thing. But yeah.
Okay, first of all, it could be just a phase because right now you don't have the need for company. But then when you're 40 or when you're like pushing 30s, you'd want comfort. All your friends will be getting married, and you'd want to hang out with them, and they'd be like, "No, I have to take care of my family." Then you would crave a family of your own. That's why.
I'll buy a house, get a few single friends like me, and buy a couple of cats. Like, I'll be that person.
Manasi, it's well and good saying that now when you don't have your friends in a relationship, having a family. And it's a completely different thing saying that in the future. And your parents, you might want them now, but it doesn't necessarily prepare them for what's to come. You know your parents are going to die one day. Doesn't mean you'd be prepared when the day comes.
Yeah. I guess I just put. What about the people who don't get married? Like, whose households the marriage isn't such a, I don't know.
I mean, I'm just generalizing this, obviously.
I know. But like, what about them? How do they keep themselves happy when they don't get married?
I mean, I'm sure they find other means of happiness than from a relationship, but I'm just saying, when you have a problem, when you're happy, you can find happiness from anywhere, but when you're sad, you need someone by your side. Someone who can understand you. It can't be your kids, it can't necessarily be your parents because of the age gap.
In situations that concern me the most, I put my own comfort in above other people, even though they might be stressed about me not finding someone. That's not gonna pressure me into marrying someone. Do you know what I mean?
So what would make you marry? Like, would you have to think that they're your soulmate for you to marry them?
No, if I meet someone who I genuinely like, and if I know in my gut that, okay, let's take this forward, and it'll just fall in place. I'm just saying that I'm not going to be the person who's going to be stressed out. Actually, I might be.
Yeah.
I don't know what
You
I'm
don't
saying.
know that. And you might think, oh, in situations like this, I want to put my own comfort first. And you might actually. But you would feel pressured because your parents' unhappiness would be like a problem for you. I've
I
seen
don't
this.
think they'll be that unhappy though. Like, my mom knows me.
Yeah,
She
but this is
knows.
very hypothetical. Any parent, if I was a parent, I would be sad that my child is all by herself.
I'd be proud. I'd be like, you go, girl. You doing this all by yourself, not needing
Yes,
someone to depend
there's
on.
something about being proud of your kid being independent, but there's another thing, thinking, I'm not going to be here for my child. Who's going to stand with her when I'm gone? Because all of us need someone. I mean, not just a spouse, anyone, a parent, a friend, a sibling, and all these people, friends, siblings, parents, they're not going to be there forever with you. But this one spouse who you marry or who you're in a relationship with, they potentially would.
I think a part of me, even though marriage seems like a great idea, it seems restricting at the end of the day. Like, you know how women say that after
Friends, like,
yeah.
if you have lots of friends, you like might not feel the need to.
Like, I come to you guys whenever I'm stressed out about something, and you like always calm me
Yeah, but
down.
Manasi, when you come to me or Asia about stressful things, it's about stuff we all face together, about exams, about university applications. Say,
Other things, and it's just a drastic life change that you can't take back. It's just too set in stone, whether it's marriage or having kids.
yeah, but I'm just saying things, but it is terrifying to think that you have to go through something alone. Even if it's old age, say you're like 45, happy marriage, it's terrifying to think that you have to live the last part of your life alone. Like, this person wouldn't be there. I can't rely
Is
on
this
them.
like
The idea of marriage, it's maybe it's a phase, but it's just
No, it
how I
doesn't have to
feel
be marriage. It can be a long lasting relationship. Or it can be any relationship. It can be a short relationship. Anything which makes you feel less alone. We're all alone in this world. No one else is gonna have the experiences you do. When you're at the brink, when the peak of problems, no one else is gonna help you but yourself. But you would like to think when you look back that they would be like catching up to you, trying to support you.
Yeah. Okay, maybe this is a bit off topic, but do you guys think that marriage these days has more negative connotations than positive?
No, I don't agree with that. I think marriage in the olden days was like had worse connotations because it was like, I don't know, people got forced marriage. Well, I know that still happens,
Yeah.
but nowadays people marry to like express how they're feeling other than stability. Or it could still, I'm just saying, like, it happens for better reasons, in my opinion, than it did before.
Well, yeah, it might be better reasons, but marriage in the olden days is considered a privilege, something in a positive light. Because even if you imagine books like Pride and Prejudice, the very first line of Pride and Prejudice is that a man who's wealthy is always, and who's settled, is always in search of a wife.
Like, is that a good thing?
I mean, so marriage, yeah, it might be forced, but it was seen in a positive light. So in Pride and Prejudice, the mother's only goal was to marry off all the daughters that she had, and she used to tell all the neighbors, all the people that she's friends with, saying, "Oh, all my daughters are married off, and they're happy." And marriage is considered something that everyone must go through, a rite of passage, a happy.
Yeah, and that's why it has bad connotations, because it's something that if you don't have, then you're considered a failure.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
isn't that a good thing? I mean, isn't marriage considered a good thing so that if people don't have it, it's bad?
No, but when you're in it, it's more than bad. It's like someone else deciding your fate for you.
Yeah, but you don't know. Even if you're in a bad marriage, you think, at least I'm married. I'm not like some sad person who's all by some
Yeah,
spinster.
so isn't that bad?
Yeah, but wasn't the question the ideas of like marriage? Is it a positive light or a negative light? So obviously, marriage, the idea of marriage is in a positive light because people think marriage is a good thing. And now it's probably slightly in a negative light because people have the option. They don't think marriage is something you have. I mean, they probably do, but it's less than before. People don't think you have to have a marriage to have a happy life.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's what I think in a way. You guys, whenever you like, I don't know, think of the ideal person, I never think of being married to them. I always think of being in a happy relationship with someone, but not married, because that's too much permanent. That's too permanent.
Yeah, I mean that's good for you. You don't have to ever get married. You just need good company. You don't need to get married.
Like I oh, sorry for the noise. I prefer my own company more. Like I
Yeah,
don't think
I don't think that's true. You didn't answer your call because you were playing cards with your family. You're that kind of person.
that's because they
Yeah.
make me. They guilt me into thinking that, oh, you're gonna go away in like 2 months.
So what if someone guilts you into marrying them? Could happen.
Because I won't care about them that much. It's like family and like people you've been friends with for a long time is one thing. Like you don't want them to go
Yeah,
away.
obviously, I'm not talking about someone who you met off the street. I'm talking about like someone you've been with.
I I don't know. I think
Soulmate, in your opinion, will kind of bring the podcast to the end by on a happy note. Articulate properly. Should be able to write properly. Should know the difference between there, and there, and
Oh
your
my
and
God.
your.
There isn't one person that I imagine. Like, I just want someone who I can be with and I don't get bored with them.
I think they should have a way with words. What were we talking about? Soulmates. So Manasi doesn't believe in soulmates. Aisha doesn't believe in soulmates. Do any of us believe in soulmates?
I do a bit.
A bit.
Yeah, I thought Manasi did believe in soulmates.
Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of don't. It's a very It's a very gray area. I think there's no yes or no answer to it. It's like very
Okay, so what is your definition of a soulmate? Like what would it be to you?
I agreed with what you said. The completing bit. Can you say it again?
Someone who completes you, it's someone who allows you to complete yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's what a soulmate should be like. Who
Wouldn't that be like,
Sorry, I don't think that any of us would actually ever feel complete. We might feel content, but not complete, because we always have the next thing that we're after. We're always looking forward to the next thing, wanting the next thing, wanting more. We're never ever complete if you think about it. So when I was
what it means to complete you is that they let you be yourself throughout your journey. So it's not just
Yeah.
like one thing. It's like when you say completes you, it's like loads of different things. So it's like whoever, I don't know, stood by you by all and went through all of that with you, and they like kind of made you a better person through that process.
Yeah,
like
but
your sense of
that
being.
person, I don't think I'm lacking something in that aspect, because I have so many people that I'm so happy that they're in my life, that who have supported me, that I'm not looking for one more.
Can you be completely yourself though? Like completely yourself. There's nothing you hold back.
But
There's no reactions that you hold back or from the fear of
like a part where I'm not telling every single thought in my head to the people who are around me. But
not hot.
even if I am with someone who's considered my soulmate, I'm not gonna tell all my thoughts to that person. I'm not gonna be fully myself with them as I am with myself.
No, I agree with that, but as fully as you can be with another person. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
I
And
think
not
they
like
already exist.
mm,
For me, my family, like, I wouldn't be my complete. I'm a different person with them than I am with you guys, and I would hold things back from all of you. So it's like,
same.
but I would hold different things back.
Yeah.
So
I think I hold less things. Another person would, I think, like how you know how you said what kind of trait you would want. I guess a bit non-judgmental, accepting, to fully accepting. I know that's hard to find, but me, I want to imagine a perfect soulmate, but I just want life to surprise me, I guess.
yeah, we all want to be swept off our feet, don't we?
Yeah,
Nah.
and I've done this before. Like when I imagine a perfect person in my head, I'm just scared that every single person that comes along, I'm gonna be comparing that person with the ideal person in my head,
Yeah,
which
but
is completely
if
unfair.
I do that, but I don't do it with an imaginary person, but then I would kind
Yeah,
of weigh people in my head.
yeah. I think the imaginary person is based on a person that I've known in my life, but I'm not in touch with that much.
I think whenever you like find flaws in people, you're gonna think, oh, I wish like, not I wish, but um,
What if?
yeah, like what if they were this instead of that? And I think it's the people that you think thought the least with are the people who you like the most.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but those thoughts go away, not go away, but they get less and less as much as you get to know the person. Like with you guys, I don't really think that anymore. I honestly, like, because I know you completely. There isn't I don't question who you are because I kind of know
Yeah,
you.
I don't do it. Yeah, I stopped doing it when I realized that I have different friends who have different qualities, who represent different things to me.
Yeah.
So I need Asia to go place one with another. Do you know what I mean?
Thoughts we're having about soulmates, like how you said you changed since like you stopped doing that. All these beliefs that we have right now, all these habits of checklisting for soulmates, it's all going to change even in the next year.
Yeah. Do soulmates exist? I think they do, because all the people that I love will be mated to my soul in some way.
That's so cute.
Like I said, I am made for all these people and they're made for me. It's not necessarily just for a spouse.
Yeah, but it's someone. Like, you know how I went to Cambridge?
Mm-hmm.
This is a very random example, right? And I don't think, I don't even know if I like the person as a human being, but I met this person, right? I
Mm-hmm.
told you about this. And I talked a lot during lunch with him, and then we went on this walk, and he showed me like the secret places in, I don't know, the different
Ooh.
stuff. And it's like at the end, so he was from Christ College, and we walked back to Christ College. He dropped me off in the library, and before my interview, he was like, "Good luck." And that whole experience just made me realize, like, I'm never gonna meet this person again in my life. I don't even know his name, but it's like it's an experience which was not magical, but it's like in my mind, like a calm experience. It calmed me down that day for my interview. And it's like these little people that you meet along the way, you're not necessarily going to build relationships with them, whether it's friendship or romantic, but they're like marking your life, and you'll never know if they're your soulmates.
Wow, I think we should end it on that note because I agree with that. Okay. Thanks for listening. You can follow us at Reasoning with Prejudice on Instagram. You can listen to us via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Red Circle, and Radio Public. Tune in for the next episode, which is on Was Thanos Right? For all the Marvel fans out there. And for the others, I guess we'll just have to explain. You've been listening to Reasoning with Prejudice with Niv
And Asia.
And Manasi.
I just heard her go rap.
I said that's a wrap.
Sorry.
That's a wrap.